Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another walk and talk video, and a little bit of different scenery, trying to find a quietish area to kind of grab the camera and talk to you about what is going on in the space. And so I found a sort of secluded area. It's kind of a bit strange, didn't know this was here, so I thought it would just be a good little backdrop for today's video, which is going to be about 3 altcoins that I think are going to perform insanely well in that next bullish market. So let's kind of get right down into it, and as I do get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description down below. So, 3 altcoins that I think are going to do so well in the next bullish market that not having exposure to these 3 in your portfolio is potentially going to cause you some pain down the lines of why didn't I get involved in these 3 projects, right? So the first 2 are going to be kind of standard. They're going to be pretty obvious altcoins that you probably do have exposure to, and if you haven't, you might be thinking maybe I should, or you have some real good justifications for why you're not including them in your portfolio. And then we've got the third project, the third altcoin, which will be at the latter part of this video, which might be a little bit unusual, not something that you've come across before, and something that I think you're going to want to kind of do some research on and do a little bit of deep diving and figuring out whether or not it is something for you in your portfolio. So let's talk about the first altcoin, right? The first altcoin needs no introduction. It's going to be Solana. Now, historically speaking on the channel, I've not been a big Solana fan. And this is specifically just because of the type of investors that there are in Solana. VC specific investors, these billionaires who don't care about the technology, they don't care about the growth of Solana, they care about their ROI. And so in the previous bull market, it was $289, I was done, I sold my Solana, wasn't going to get back involved in that bull market. Turns out that was a really good decision. Obviously we saw the bear market come, we saw the lows come on in, we saw the FTX crash, we saw Solana hit an $8 low. I still thought back then we could see a little bit deeper in price. We could have seen a potential for $5 Solana. However, $8 held up incredibly well. And as such, we have seen a fantastic reversal in price action, to the point where we are tracking some pretty decent impulsive structures on the charts for Solana. These structures have the potential to take Solana up to some very, very phenomenally high numbers. Numbers that, you know, they might not come to fruition, but technically we can see a path that could lead to those numbers, right? And so on the upper end of the spectrum, Solana has the potential to hit $7,500. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to, I'm just saying that it has the potential to do so. Lots of things can change between now and that next bullish market where, you know, we might see Solana not hit that kind of high expected level. Underneath that $7,500, we have the $2,000 level. This is a 1-to-1 ratio with what happened in the previous bull market, and considering $8, that would still be a phenomenal return on investment. Very, very crazy high numbers. And again, no expectations here that we are going to hit $2,000 in the same way that we don't necessarily think we're going to hit $7,500, but on the charts, we can see a path towards those numbers, which is great to see. It means that there's a lot of confidence in Solana by tracking the behavior of investors, and that behavior is tracking to these particular numbers. On the more conservative levels, the more kind of realistic levels for Solana, we can see, you know, a good price range up there around the $600 to $700 level. And I do think that this is a very realistic price expectation for Solana, considering everything that's been going on. Now, obviously there's a lot of tokens that are locked up for Solana. So we basically start seeing a lot of those tokens being, I guess, distributed, and the lockup period is expiring in 2025, March of 2025. So this means that we really want to make sure that we're out of our positions before those billionaires have the ability to dump on you. So knowing the lockup schedule and the ability to kind of front run those billionaires, I think is the good idea, at least in my humble opinion. So that's the first altcoin. Again, didn't really need any introductions, pretty kind of standard stuff in the space. We kind of cover Solana on the channel now quite a bit because I do think it is worth investing in Solana at these prices. It wasn't worth, at least in my opinion, in staying invested in Solana at $200. I think we saw the value now at $8 on the low, and we've seen a good reversal. So altcoin number 2, the second altcoin that needs no introduction and has the potential to do incredibly well is Chainlink. Now again, we've been covering Chainlink a lot recently because again, it's showing good signs that the bottom is in. It's showing great signs that accumulation is still something that we can see, which means we haven't missed the boat just yet. And I think with everything that's going on with Solana and Chainlink here, we can see true potential growth. Right? So for Chainlink, we know that there's a lot of integrations. There's not really that many projects in the crypto space that are not integrated with Chainlink. And it brings that real world data on chain in an immutable way, right? So from a fundamental standpoint, it's a critical component to the blockchain world. And so with everything that's been going on, with the reversal in price, we've seen the nice lows. We have seen some fundamental changes as well that are really, really good and help us understand the potential for Chainlink in the future. We see a lot of traditional industries and sectors getting involved in Chainlink as well, outside of the Web3 space. This also means that Chainlink is going to have exposure at a lot of different levels as well. Chainlink has the potential to push up quite high. I covered a video this morning on Chainlink that shows a theoretical potential of $2,300 per token. Now again, no expectations here are being made that that's going to be a realistic price target, but we can see the technical moves that could lead us in that direction. Again, a lot can happen between now and that bull market that prevents $2,300, but if everything lines up incredibly well, there's nothing stopping it at the same time. So we have to be very mindful of that. Now, on the realistic side, from terms of price predictions and price expectations, we do see kind of $200 to $400 Chainlink being a nice sweet spot. The realistic kind of side of Chainlink, which still looks phenomenally great value. I mean, we can see from the bear market low points, this being 100x potential on Chainlink. And it wouldn't surprise me either. We do see from time to time that although you can see exponential growth at the beginning of project life cycles, you can see a resurgence later in their cycles as well as things change for the project in terms of the amount of integrations, the way that I think privacy is going to impact DeFi, which means more use of Chainlink and the DeFi world as well. I think ultimately we're in a really sweet spot for Chainlink. I expect price to come down a little bit further into another accumulation phase, but this will be the last opportunity to really get in before we see those institutional buys take Chainlink even higher. And I'll speculate that a Chainlink spot ETF won't be too far behind an Ethereum spot ETF as well. So look into that if you want to. That obviously then leads us on to altcoin number 3. The altcoin that maybe people might not know about, might not know exists, but are doing some really interesting things in the space. And this is 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧. Now 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧 is an AI-based project. It uses the SingularityNet AI, 𝗖𝗢𝗪 the robot if you're familiar. You can do some lookups on this if you want. It's the first AI to generate NFT artwork and sell it and all that kind of stuff. 𝗖𝗢𝗪 the robot essentially is world famous and for the most part that artificial intelligence has been packaged up into a project called 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧. 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧 is, think of it as a metaverse for AI, but it goes deeper than that. This AI-based project will integrate with other metaverse projects, introducing the artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence AI avatars in the metaverse, which people can then interact with. Now, this might sound like, you know, just great, it's fantastic, it's going to be entertainment for people using metaverses, you know, across different ecosystems. But it goes deeper than that because every interaction with this AI, the AI learns from it, increasing the hive knowledge, if you will, of the SingularityNet ecosystem and 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧. Now, we saw on Twitter just a couple of days ago that 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧 have kind of announced that they're launching into orbit with SpaceX. This is not a minor thing. It's going to be very, very interesting to kind of see what happens with all the PR that comes on the back of that. But yeah, 𝗖𝗢𝗪 is going into orbit with SpaceX. And this is a pretty big, major announcement. I don't know what that means just yet, because it's relatively new. We don't know if there's going to be fundamental changes that are happening with that development, but the announcement is that they're going on the launch early next year with SpaceX, and 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏 will be right up there in orbit in space, right? So I think this is going to be great. It's going to get a lot of eyeballs on the project from a PR point of view, and as such, I think we're going to see even more people looking at 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏 as a great way to integrate into their ecosystems and basically educate their users on AI, but also have the AI learning from their users. So I'm imagining that, 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏, although hasn't necessarily been performing well as a token launch, I think it's going to do insanely well in the 2024 and 2025, and I think that this has the potential to be 100, even potentially push to that 1000x potential if everything lines up very, very well. Now, I don't have any great kind of price predictions on 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏. I don't have any accumulation zones of where we should be buying 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏. Because this is a new project that's only just launching, you can almost argue that their launch is into outer space to the moon. We haven't really got enough data to be predictive over where we think things are going. The tokenomics, though, are very, very good. Obviously, the cheeky crypto community were able to take part in the private sale for 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏, and so we were able to get very sizable positions, but though that is locked up for 24 months, so we don't necessarily see a huge amount of the supply just kind of dropping straight onto the market. I do think, though, that 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏 is going to perform incredibly well, even though I don't know where to buy and I don't know where to sell. I do expect that 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏 is going to perform insanely well, specifically with the tokenomics the way that they are. Again, this is one that I think is a little unknown. It's one that you guys might not have come across before, one that I think you should be doing some research on and doing a deeper dive into. We know that AI is going to be playing a key role in that next bullish market. We already saw fantastic performance from SingularityNet. We saw fantastic performance from Hypercycle and so many other SingularityNet projects. And I think 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏 is going to be that next big one. We just need to be patient, we need to accumulate, and we need to kind of see what developments unfold over the next kind of coming weeks and months on 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗏. So those are my three altcoins that I think if you need to kind of pay attention to, two that I think you probably are well aware of already, and one a little bit unknown. Let me know what your thoughts are on these three in the comments down below, and let me know what three altcoins you are keeping an eye on in this bearish time and where you think they could be going next. I'm going to leave the video right there. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.